So today we're diving into one of those viral tests, you know the kind, the ones that promise to reveal your deepest, darkest subconscious desires in like 60 seconds flat. But I want you to know, the title of this explainer, it's not just clickbait. We are going to break down exactly why you should be super careful with tests like these. And it all kicks off with one simple question.
I mean, it's a tempting offer, right? In a world that's packed with these super complicated personality quizzes and deep dives into psychology, the idea that you could get a shortcut, a quick peek right into your inner self in just a minute, that is incredibly appealing. So to really understand the trap here, well, first, we have to spring it. All right, let's get right to it. The test itself is called the handout test. Super simple, super quick, and yeah, I actually want you to try it with me right now. This is the exact kind of thing that's designed to tap into your subconscious and supposedly tell you what it is you truly want. So you ready to see how this thing works?
Okay, seriously, do this with me. Go ahead and put your hand out, palm facing up. Good. Now, close your eyes. I want you to imagine that I am placing an object right into your palm. And really try to focus on it. What does it feel like? Is it heavy? Is it light? Is it rough? Or is it smooth? What's the shape of it? Just get a really clear picture, a really clear feeling of that object. Okay, go ahead and open your eyes.
So, what'd you see? Got it? Hold that object in your mind. And don't overthink it, okay? Just stick with whatever popped into your head first. Now, let's see what the popular internet wisdom says about your subconscious desire. Did you imagine a key? Well, according to this test, that means you're subconsciously searching for access. You know, access to a new opportunity, maybe a new job, a new circle of friends, or maybe even access to somebody's heart. The idea is, it represents this desire to unlock something that feels closed off to you right now.
Okay. And what if you pictured something from nature? You know, like a smooth stone, maybe a blade of grass, or a simple stick? The interpretation here is that you're subconsciously craving peace. You're looking for some tranquility, a little calm in your future. It's all about this desire for feeling grounded and stable. It's kind of fun, right? But this is where the real danger is. It's not about what you imagine. It's about believing what these interpretations tell you.
And this is the big question, isn't it? These little tests, they're entertaining, for sure, but they are built on a really shaky foundation. They're built on the assumption that our minds are reliable, that they tell us the truth. But, you know, the history of psychology shows us over and over and over again that they absolutely do not. To show you what I mean, let's take a look at some of the mind's built-in, well, let's call them glitches. Our brains are absolutely full of these little shortcuts and biases that can fool us so easily. The thing is, we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as our brain interprets it. And yeah, sometimes that interpretation is just flat out wrong. Go on, try it yourself right now. Don't read the word on the screen. Just say the color of the ink as fast as you possibly can. It's a lot harder than it looks, isn't it? That little brain scramble is called the Stroop effect. Your brain's automatic process, which is reading, is getting in the way of your conscious task, which is just naming a color. It's a perfect, simple little demonstration of how our own cognitive processes can just trip over each other and how easily our minds can get confused, even on a task this basic.
Okay, so if our immediate perception, what we see right in front of us, is that faulty, then what about our memory? Well, it turns out our memories are even less reliable. They're not like little video recordings of the past. They're more like stories that we tell ourselves. And the scary part is, those stories can be edited, without us even knowing it.
This quote comes from Elizabeth Loftus. She is a pioneering researcher who has pretty much spent her entire career showing us just how flexible, how malleable our memories really are. And her work has had gigantic implications, especially in the legal world, because it's proven that eyewitness testimony can be dangerously flawed.
So get this. In her famous Lost in the Mall study, Loftus and her team were actually able to convince people that they had a vivid memory of being lost in a shopping mall as a kid, an event that never actually happened. All it took was a little power of suggestion from family members, and suddenly, people didn't just accept this false story. They started adding their own details, their own emotions, creating this rich, detailed, and completely made-up memory.
Okay, so our individual minds have glitches, our memories can be rewritten, but believe it or not, it actually gets worse. We are also incredibly vulnerable to social pressure. Sometimes we can see the truth plain as day, right in front of our faces, and we'll still deny it, just to fit in with the group. Just take the Asch conformity experiment. Imagine you're put in a room with a bunch of other people who are actually actors. You're all asked a really simple question. which line on the right is the same length as the line on the left. The answer's obvious, right? But then, one by one, all the actors give the same, clearly wrong answer. So what do? Well, in a shocking number of cases, the real subject just goes along with the group, denying the evidence of their own two eyes just so they don't have to stand out.
And this group effect can literally have life or death consequences. It's called the bystander effect. And what it shows is that when we're alone, most of us will help someone in an emergency. But when we're in a group, we are way less likely to do anything. We just assume someone else will handle it, or we look around to see what everyone else is doing, and if nobody's moving, we don't move either. That responsibility just spreads out and gets thin, and suddenly, the person who needs help gets ignored.
Now, at this point, you might be thinking, okay, I get it, our minds are flawed, but what's the big deal? What's the harm in some fun one-minute test? And this is where we have to get really serious. Because playing around with psychology, even just casually, means you're stepping into a field that has a very dark and frankly harmful history of unethical experiments.
And these are not some obscure studies you've never heard of. The Monster Study, the Milgram Obedience Experiment, the Stanford Prison Experiment. These are infamous examples where psychological manipulation led to real, lasting harm to people, all of it done in the name of research. They're a really stark reminder of the massive responsibility that comes with exploring the human mind.
I mean, just look at the Milgram experiment. A researcher in a lab coat told people to deliver what they thought were increasingly powerful electric shocks to another person. They could hear that person screaming in pain, begging them to stop. And yet, a staggering 65% of the participants obeyed the authority figure and went all the way to the maximum, 450-volt shock, a shock that was marked as potentially fatal. Our need to obey authority can be that powerful.
And the Monster Study, it's even more chilling. Back in 1939, researchers took a group of orphan children, and systematically bullied and belittled half of them for every tiny speech imperfection, telling them over and over that they were stutterers. The experiment didn't do anything for stuttering, but what it did do was cause severe and lifelong psychological damage. It shattered the self-esteem of kids who had absolutely no one there to protect them.
Which brings us all the way back to that little handout test we did. See, there is a world of difference between a viral game and a real psychological tool. Something like the GAD-7, which is a screening tool for anxiety, is validated. Its purpose is to gather information, it's based on actual scientific research, and the results are meant to be a starting point for a talk with a professional. The handout test, its purpose is entertainment, its basis is pop psychology, and the next step is just a fun conversation.
And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? We've seen that our perception can be tricked, our memories can be literally implanted, and our own judgment can be totally warped by the people around us. Our minds are incredibly powerful, but they are also incredibly vulnerable. So why on earth would you trust a simple parlor trick with something as critical as your mental state? These tests are fun, but that's really all they are. If you want real insight, you have to look to real science, not some 60-second shortcut.